when Emilie Larter flew to Uganda to volunteer in 2014, she thought she was beginning the adventure of a lifetime.
And she was not wrong. Just days into her trip, she started caring for a 5-day-old baby called Adam, whose mother had sadly passed following his birth.
After immediately falling in love with him, Emilie began the painstaking process of adopting him and bringing him back to the UK.
And after enduring 5 years of expensive legal fees, lengthy court appearances, they are finally home. And joining us now, Emilie and Adam.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Good to have you with
Emilie.
us.
And lovely to see you, Adam. He's had a long journey, hasn't he, Emilie?
He has.
Yeah, I was like, why am I up right now? You got me up in the middle of the night. Emilie, take us back to 2014 when you decided to go and volunteer in Uganda. You thought you were probably having a very exciting gap year, and then immediately...
Yeah, I mean, I'd been travelling lots before then, and when I went there, it was like the start of many planned travels. But a few weeks in, we were called... I was volunteering for an orphanage, which I wouldn't necessarily do again now, but I wasn't very aware of the negatives back then. And a few weeks in, we were called to go and collect a baby boy whose mum had unfortunately passed away. And it was this one.
And did you just have this instant bond straight away?
I did. So at the time, the charity director said, can you, like, be his one-to-one carer?
Oh, look at the picture of him. So
because, you know, there's lots of children at the orphanage, so, and as a newborn baby, he needed a lot more, like, intense care. So she asked if I'd look after him, so I agreed, and, yeah, very quickly became attached.
So how old were you at the time?
I was 22.
So you're 22, and you get there. Adam is 5 days old at the time.
Yeah.
Had you any idea what to do?
I mean... I think it came quite, like, instinctively.
Yeah.
I am quite maternal anyway. I mean, if I didn't know, I asked. I'd call my mum. The charity director also had a baby a few months older. So it was, yeah, it was definitely thrown in the deep end, but, like, I just went with it.
Just to go back, when you said you wouldn't necessarily do it now...
The volunteering. So
Why?
I don't regret it at all, because obviously it's brought me here.
Of course, but...
But I just see how it negatively impacts the children, like volunteers coming and going and things, because I've watched that.
There's no consistency?
Yeah.
Is that what I see? Yeah, yeah.
because you were there for, like, 2 months, didn't you?
I was supposed to be there for 2 months. I extended my stay. I was there for about 7.5 months.
Really?
Because I've met Adam.
So after the 7.5 months, you then had to come back to the UK?
I did. I mean, I had no money. I just didn't feel like I could volunteer forever.
Sure.
Like, so I just had to. So I moved back to the UK, but I very quickly got as many jobs as possible, and I was going out on visits to see Adam as much as I could.
So when did you make the call in your head that this is something that you wanted to... this is the road you wanted to go down?
I mean, even when he was a little baby, I knew I was going to find it very hard to say bye, but I didn't see it as an option that I could adopt him. I just didn't see it as a possibility. As I said, I was
Mum, you're embarrassing me.
He's just a bit tired. He wants to have a little sleep. Leave him to it.
Want some of them Rusty Lee ribs?
He's chilling out. Let him relax. So, obviously, you went through the adoption process. Tell me a little bit about that. Was it quite difficult?
It was. I mean, I think everyone has a very different experience out there. Mine was particularly unlucky. So I moved out to adopt him just before he turned 2, and you have to foster for a year before you can apply to adopt. But for us, something went wrong constantly, whether it was paperwork went missing, court dates were cancelled, paperwork had names misspelled. It was just one thing after another. And so, yeah, it took... The adoption process in Uganda ended up taking 3 years, and then we were there 4.5 in total before we came.
So when you got that...
Was that just bureaucracy and red tape?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was difficult, and then COVID hit, and then the day we had his appointment to get his passport, there was a lockdown and everything closed, so that just added more delays.
That must have been amazing when you actually got that passport and the visa, and then you brought him back and you landed in Birmingham, didn't you?
I did, and my parents came to pick us up, and he's been speaking to my parents for years, but had never met them in person.
What was that like?
It was emotional. It was. I'd also been imagining it for so many years that it was just weird to it actually be happening. But yeah, and he gets on really well with them.
And they must have been so emotional as well.
I think they were. I think they also didn't think it was ever going to happen in a way, because we had so many setbacks during our time in Uganda. I just feel like everyone didn't actually expect it to ever go through.
And then in terms of the process when you come here, you almost have to start all over again.
I do, yeah. So I've got to, even though he's here on a visa, he's got a visa to stay here, he can go to school, he can use healthcare, everything. I'm not legally recognised as his mum in this country.
So you've got to go through the whole adoption stage again?
Yeah.
So is that what you're doing now?
I am. I've got social workers on it and things, and we're doing a court application, and, yeah. But I'm not as worried because he's here with me, and it's just, like, legal.
The lovely story is that you sort of set up this GoFund page ages ago while you were out there to help you adopt him, but you really just thought that was just going to be your... you really just thought that was going to be your friends and family. That's all you started it for.
I did.
And then it you know, really kicked off, didn't it?
Yeah, so I'd never actually intended to ask for any money, but I'd gone out there, I'd got myself a job in an international school, and I lost it after a few months. And someone suggested I set one up because I didn't know what I was going to do. So I did, and it blew up quite a lot. And then I've got a lot of people following me on social media and things and supporting me, and that have helped us, and we couldn't have done it without them.
And Adam, tell us what your mum's like. Is she lovely?
What am I like?
What's she like? Oh,
super shy right now.
Shy Adam.
Yeah.
I like sleeping with my mum.
Oh, we all do, don't we? We all do.
And we shared a hotel room last night, didn't we? Which we don't usually get to do. Yeah.
Oh, it's a lovely story. And you've got your partner back in Uganda, haven't you?
Yeah, so I mean, being there for many, many years, we had a whole life there. So I've got a partner who's Ugandan, and in our time there, some extended family members of him.
Oh, are those your other children there?
Yeah, well, so one of those is Adam. The youngest one, James, is not in that photo. But yeah, so...
So hopefully they're all going to come home.
We hope so. It's going to be another big process all over again.
It will happen, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Emilie, Adam, so lovely to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Brilliant story.